Good Saturday morning, everyone, and I have some news. Yes, I actually have some awesome news. I got on the internet today, and my awesome, super cool HD television computer monitor that was my old television, it still is my television, but it pretty much doubles as both. And what did I see? I've got a new subscriber, so yay, that's awesome. Hopefully this person will stick around. And, I'll just put them over right now, actually, right away. It's F is an F, 5 star, the numeral 5 and STAA. It's someone from South Korea, so yay, that's awesome. So this channel is getting out all across the globe, and not just the United States, or in this case, not just the surrounding states and Florida, but actually it is going places, and that is awesome, so yay for more subscribers. We are close to 3,400 views right now, which means we are more than over halfway of my goal for the end of the year, and my goal is 5,000. Now, as we get closer to the end of the year, with Reunion coming up and meeting all the cool people at Reunion and seeing everyone I've seen last year and saw everybody that I'm going to meet this year, it's actually going to be a good thing, and it's probably going to help boost the sub count and boost the hits count a lot higher. So there's also that, so that's awesome, and I cannot wait to see what happens furthermore. So like I said, I want to thank all my subscribers, and for those of you that haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Honestly, just hit subscribe, and if you don't have a YouTube channel, create one, just subscribe to people. It'll work. That's how you can look at the videos you want to see on YouTube. I know you don't have to subscribe to watch the videos, but, you know, it helped me out considerably. So guys, help me out and subscribe. Also, you want to do the thumbs up deal, you can do that as well. That'd be cool too. So I'm keeping track on the hits on this channel, but I don't really keep track of anything other than that. So I am wanting more subscribers, but if I don't get them, then really not much I can do. As of right now, we're at 3,394, so maybe by the time this video is through, I'll actually have hit 3,400. So once again, thank everybody for the viewership. I appreciate it very much so. So yesterday was a long day, and I mean a long day. I got to bed around 2 o'clock last night, and I just crashed. Pretty much, we watched 4 movies, went to Wendy's, and I watched Smackdown. So I'm going to talk in great length about it tomorrow, obviously during AJ's weekend movie reviews, but I'm just going to throw it out for you. The host is terrible. And G.I. Joe was really good, really funny, and doesn't take itself way too seriously. Spring Breakers is really good. It's just you got to know what you're getting yourself into. It is not a party movie. I guess AJ coined the term anti-party movie, so that's what it is. And James Franco is so on point, it's not even funny. Having this and Oz out at the same time would be a really interesting double feature at this point. And Stoker is very twisted and very interesting. Very wild ride, honestly. And really great performances from everyone in the cast, from Nicole Kidman, Mia Wasikowska, and Matthew Good. They all did absolutely amazing, and it was a great movie. And I want to put over Franco and Spring Breakers, but also Vanessa Hudgens and Ashley Benson did a great job, as well as conveying the scariness of their characters. And obviously I love Selena Gomez to death, and it was awesome seeing Jeff Jarrett as a Affliction t-shirt wearing preacher. That was awesome. So I'll talk more about the host in a second, actually. I do want to quickly mention Saoirse Ronan is a great actress. She's an Oscar-nominated actress. And she really didn't have much to do in this movie. It's just kind of there. The supporting cast are bland and dull, and there's nothing of worth about the cast whatsoever. The only one that really comes out at me is the Sam Neill-looking William Hurt in this movie. So, other than that, the movie's terrible, stay away. If you didn't like Twilight, you're not going to like this, because it's the same Stephenie Meyer writing style. G.I. Joe, like I said, I hated the first one, absolutely despised it. With the induction of Channing Tatum and Dwayne Johnson, it works for me, and the action sequences are really good, actually. And the 3D worked pretty well, too. So that was that. Like I said, Spring Breakers was really good. You got to know what you're getting yourself into. And Stoker is a nice wild ride. So that's my quick and to the point reviews for the 4 movies we watched yesterday. AJ will give his tomorrow. Actually, I'll give his tomorrow in my voice, as always. So, that's coming up tomorrow. And I watched Smackdown last night. Actually, should I say this morning? I actually watched it about 8 hours ago. So, it's kind of fresh in my mind. So, we're going to talk Smackdown. And we are live to tape, as usual, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, home of Hershey Park. Yes. One of the only places in the world that has a theme park that has a wrestling arena there, too. So that's awesome. I know Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom had that for OVW back in the day, but no longer. So now you can get your ride on. You can ride the Super Duper Double Looper, and then after that, you can watch some WWE Smackdown. That's exactly what people did that night. So, like I said, live to tape, and for the first time in forever, The Rock makes his way out to the ring and shows up back on the show that is his namesake. And of course, we are literally 9 days, now 8, away from WrestleMania. And I'm telling you right now, everything has been built up correctly. It's taken a while to get there, but we've actually got the correct build-up, and this SmackDown went a long way to prolong the storylines that are going to be all a part WrestleMania this year. So Rock comes out with the WWE Championship, of course. Basically, he continues his story time with The Rock, talking about Rock's adventures as being a creepy mustached-wearing 15-year-old punk kid. And basically, at the age of 20, he moved to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Rock and his friends would visit Hershey Park. Obviously, they never name-dropped it, but he called it a certain park. Obviously, everyone knew where they were because they were in Hershey, Pennsylvania at the time. Quite often, they would ride some rides. Rock would eat as much chocolate as humanly possible. But one day, Rock wanted to whatchamacallit, which are really awesome candy bars, by the way. I put them over. So, he drove to 7 stores to find one, despite all his friends losing patience with him trying to get one. He finally found a store that bought them, and when he's about to grab it, someone else put their hand down and grabbed it as well. So, Rock basically coined the term that is going to change the history of the WWE and internet memes all across the country. Rock says, if you don't sit down the candy, I'm going to kick your candy ass. Yes, that's where the term candy ass was born. And it makes sense because Storytime with The Rock actually works really well. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything at all. It's just a good time for the crowd. So after this, basically Rock says his roundabout way to getting to the term, he will do anything to get what he wants. Whether it's getting candy or beating John Cena. So basically, Rock's getting frustrated, and he's starting to pick up momentum, and then all of a sudden, some very, very familiar music plays, and guess who shows up out of nowhere? John Laurinaitis! It was awesome! Super Dave Osborne himself returns to SmackDown. The People Power Titantron comes up, and oh my god, it was awesome to see Big Johnny again. So, after commercial break, we have both men in the ring. Rock just simply says, "Who in the blue hell are you?" So, Johnny pretty much asks if that's a trick question, because everyone knows who he is. He's the former Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, and the former General Manager of Raw and SmackDown, Mr. John Laurinaitis. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Especially for 9 in the morning. Excuse me. So, he interrupts Storytime with The Rock, and of course Rock is pretty peeved at that. Apparently Teddy Long gave him the permission to come out. So, he says everybody expects him to come out, talk too long, get rock bottomed. So, yay! Segment over, we already know what's going to happen. But obviously that tells you that's not going to happen, that's what the fans want to happen. He says that's not going to happen, of course, because they're both men of the people. Of course, The Rock being the people's champion, and the fact that Big Johnny invented people power. So, he talks about how John Cena is the reason why he no longer has either of the positions and works really for the company anymore. He still does, but I mean, he doesn't. He's just mainly an on-air talent now when he is used. He is not working for the company anymore, period. Except as an on-air talent. So, he pitched himself to be in the corner of The Rock at WrestleMania. So, Rock compares Laurinaitis to peanut butter. And pretty much calls himself the most electrifying piece of chocolate the world has ever seen. This was after he brought up the fact of Reese's peanut butter cups. So it didn't really work at all. But he's a business proposition for Big Johnny. And it's not a rock bottom. Together they can send John Cena a message. First things first, the Rock's gonna need a handshake. So they shake hands, and the $1 million smile from both sides, and eventually gets pulled in our spine buster and hits the people's elbow. And that was pretty awesome. It was great seeing John Laurinaitis back on television again, and I really hope this isn't something that's just going to happen for one night only. I really hope they utilize John Laurinaitis back on television again. And you know what? I'll be totally honest with you. I liked his run as general manager, and I thought it worked really well, and I really think there is a place for it to happen yet again. So I'm going to say right now, give me more people power, more Big Johnny on my screen. That's what I want to see. So if WWE's paying attention, pay attention to that, honestly. So we come back from commercial break, and we actually get our first match of the evening, which is a non-title match between the Y2J, Chris Jericho, and the Intercontinental Champion, Wade Barrett. Now don't forget, both of these superstars are on a different collision course for WrestleMania with different people. Jericho is going to be facing off against Fandango, and you're going to see Wade Barrett take on The Miz, who is joining us for guest commentary. Now, when we come back from commercial break, as we always do, Wade Barrett has a headlock applied on Jericho. Jericho makes it up to his feet, and he climbs the top eventually and delivers his double axe handle. He crowns him off the top. So Barrett dodges the lion salt, hits the winds of change for 2, and he stays on top and whips him into the corner. He charges, Jericho gets his boot up, and he goes upstairs, and a big splash for 2. Jericho goes for the walls. Barrett battles out of it. He charges at Jericho. Jericho pulls the top rope down, and Barrett goes to the outside. He nails a plancha, or he goes for it, and Barrett rolls out of the way this time, and Jericho hits the canvas. Basically what he did, he was going for the Jericho drop kick, but, you know, sometimes when he doesn't want to drop kick, he wants to hit the cross bodies. That's exactly what he did, and Barrett moved out of the way, and he nailed the ground, so it worked just well. So, Miz and Barrett are talking trash to each other, given the fact that Miz is on commentary during the match, and Jericho rolls out to the ring. He focuses his attention on Jericho momentarily. He follows him out to the outside. Basically, he rolls back into the ring. He gets done jaw-jacking with the Miz, rolls back in the ring. He gets caught with the code breaker, and a surprise victory for Chris Jericho. So, that was awesome, and I want to see more Wade Barrett and Chris Jericho. Now, they went about 5 minutes, a little bit more, actually. But I'd like to have seen this gone longer, to be totally honest, because these two actually have good chemistry in the ring. And there's a proven storyline of the fact that, don't forget, Chris Jericho is the former NXT Pro of Wade Barrett, so he is the reason why Barrett is on WWE television in storyline perspective. So it makes sense for these two to want to kill each other. So after this match, Jericho grabs the microphone and he wants to try to say Fandango's name correctly again. And he does this because he sees that the stage is all set up, you know, the awesome streamers and the light show. It's all set up for Fandango to come out. So basically, Jericho proceeds to call him about 1 billion different names except for Fandango, ending up with a rousing rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody, which of course he ends with Fandango, and then go, go, go. And everybody marks out for that. And here comes Fandango down to the ring. He brings out his concubine as usual. He gets about halfway down the ramp and he stops, knowing that he's too smart for this and Jericho is not going to goad him into the ring. And that's exactly what happens. Jericho holding the ropes down. He's like, get in the ring, come on, let's do this. Come on, Junior. And he does it. Now, actually a good way to get more heat between these two. And I'm telling you right now, for all you fans that are chanting, you can't wrestle at Fandango, you have to realize Johnny Curtis himself is a hell of a worker. And I'm telling you right now, that's the sleeper match for WrestleMania. Without any question. I think Chris Jericho and Fandango is going to be the sleeper match for WrestleMania. That's the match that's going to turn some heads. Now, we know a lot of other things are going to turn heads, obviously, for different reasons. Triple H and Brock, Punk and Taker, and, of course, Cena and The Rock. But when it comes down to it, this is the match I'm looking forward to seeing. So, Johnny Jeter, wow, another Johnny. Johnny Curtis, don't let me down, please. Honestly, I have a lot of faith in you, and I'm sure the brass do if they're not. They're going to put you in the ring for your first official match in this new gimmick at WrestleMania 29. So, gotta have a lot of faith in you, and I think this gimmick's gonna go far, and I think it already has. This is a good thing about doing Smackdown videos and doing old Raw videos because of one simple reason. The video packages, I've already covered them, so we're not going to talk about them again. But I will say that the Brock Lesnar Triple H video package aired again. And of course it's brilliant, as all WWE video packages are. So, earlier tonight Josh Matthews has a sit down with Paul Heyman in the back. Brock wants it said on record that Triple H is in a must-lose situation. He says that after Triple H loses, he'll be sitting behind the desk watching the current roster go out and wrestle. Basically, he's living vicariously through them. Eventually, he'll grow jealous in the generation of doing what he no longer can do, and he won't be able to handle it. This will lead him trying to sabotage them, and eventually the roster will rebel against him. Rebel against him. Long day. So that's going to be rather interesting when Triple H goes against the entire roster because he wants to wrestle and he can't. Triple H has made two mistakes. He thought he was smarter than Paul Heyman, and he wasn't. And he thought he was stronger than Brock Lesnar, and he's definitely not. This is a tremendous promo from Paul Heyman. And right now, 100%, all the writing's on the wall, you just have to read it. When it comes down to it, Triple H is winning this match, and there's no way he's not. And if this was a different stipulation without his career on the line, I'd say there might be some legs with Brock Lesnar winning. And you know, Lesnar really does need the win because the last time we've seen him on pay-per-view, he's lost both times. He hasn't won yet. So he's lost the big one all the time, and you want to build him against The Rock. It's not going to work when he keeps losing all the time. Now granted, I know wins and losses just make sense in storyline perspective, but when it comes down to it, honestly, you have to put Lesnar over. And if you want Lesnar against The Rock at WrestleMania next year, if you want it at SummerSlam this year, SummerSlam next year, if you want it at all, you have to build some momentum for Brock Lesnar. And if he loses to Triple H, he's going to have to just injure him after the match. The only problem is, we've already done this twice. So needless to say, there's really no direction you can go with this. So you're pretty much in a lose-lose situation if you're Brock Lesnar at this point. You're just going to put the boss over. That's exactly what's going to happen at WrestleMania. So basically, we see Booker T and Teddy Long on top of the ramp when we come back from commercial break. And we're getting ready to have our World's Strongest Man competition. Basically, our weightlifting challenge between Ryback and Mark Henry. Yay, more time wasting. So, basically, this bar is 225 pounds. And apparently, the world record of the 225-pound bench press, I've never heard of it, but okay, is 51 reps. Alright, I'm sure both of these could break this. Both of them could break them pretty easily. But we'll find out soon enough. So, Mark Henry begins first, and the crowd, of course, are counting along with him, and he's going really, really fast. So, he gets to 45, and he starts to struggle a bit, and he ends up doing 53, so, of course, he broke the record. And, of course, in true Mark Henry fashion, he yells, "That's what I do!" at the very end. So, basically, Ryback gets on the bar, does 20 in about 20 seconds. So, this is insane. And it's designingly insane, honestly. When it comes down to it, he's basically he's pressing the bar. And if this was actually 225 pounds, which it may be or may not be, that's pretty impressive. But basically, I said that Mark Henry did them fast. There is ultra fast for Ryback. He's literally doing it in under 20 seconds. So he slows down about 45 reps, just like Mark Henry did. And, of course, the crowd is chanting like robots, "Feed me more," whatever. Anyway, he does 53, and Mark Henry grabs the bar to ensure he doesn't break his number, forcing it down on his throat, and chokes him with the bar. Of course, this causes Ryback to foam at the mouth, and he didn't touch him. Obviously, there was a ruling made before this match that if either superstar touched each other before WrestleMania, the match would be off. That's basically what it was. He touched the bar, he did not touch Ryback. That's a smart way to cheat from Mark Henry. And he still got his damage in. So, they help Ryback to his feet. And really old school, there's reasons to do stuff like this. Like, back when they had the pose down with Ravishing Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior, I mean, there was a reason to do that, and of course, Rude ended up turning on the Warrior and nailing him with the bar. So, we've done this before, we've been down this road numerous times, and this actually works, given the fact that they're both putting over both men, one as a legitimate World's Strongest Man, who's actually been in the Olympics, and the other who's someone that they're just trying to get over as a juggernaut. Or the Juggernaut in this case, given the fact that he looks a bit like Vinnie Jones. But when it comes down to it, they're going to collide. Of course, the old Gorilla Monsoon adage will definitely be in effect. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. And that's very true. And I'm telling you right now, I know Ryback's going to win this. I don't want that to happen. But seriously, there's money in putting the belt back on Mark Henry at some point. And if you want to do that, you have to build him up. And I really think Mark Henry should win at WrestleMania. And it was up to me and happened to squash Ryback completely and then eliminate his push and then send him back to FCW. But obviously they're not going to do that because they have faith in the guy. And he's going to, no matter if I like it or not, he's going to be one of the next guys. He's probably going to be the next guy the company's going to put their shoulders on. So, we'll find out soon enough, I guess. I don't like it, but like I said, he's not growing on me. Hopefully his match at WrestleMania won't expose him even further, which it probably could, because it's going to take a lot for Ryback to deadlift Mark Henry, and I think he can do it, but we've seen before with Tensai back on Raw that it doesn't always work that way, so we'll find out soon enough exactly if this is going to work, and hopefully, these two have used this move before in house shows, or will use this move in house shows for the next couple of days before WrestleMania to get their timing down, to make sure that on the grandest stage of them all, we don't have a ginormous botch. So, that easily could happen, given the fact that Mark Henry is over 400 pounds. But, we'll probably get to that another time. After this, we get another commercial break, and of course, you're really building to this winner-take-all match that I'm hearing is going to happen that still hasn't been announced, with Hell No and Caitlyn against AJ Lee, Dolph Ziggler, and Big E Langston. And of course, in this match, you have Daniel Bryan and Caitlyn taking on Dolph and AJ. So, basically, Daniel Bryan started off against Ziggler. Basically, they had a nice stalemate. They went back and forth for a while. The old Jerry Lynn, Rob Van Dam, ECW stalemate. And the women tag in. AJ had a dropkick, only got a 2 count. And she hit rolling reverse neck breakers, which looked awesome, by the way. With another 2 count, only got a 2 count. Wow, that was redundant. Oh no, another near fall, only got a 2 count, is basically what I was trying to say. So she hit the ropes, Caitlyn hit a shoulder block, and Dolph and Bryan are back in the ring. Ziggler finds himself in the corner and gets nailed with the dropkick in the corner, you know, Austin Aries IED. And basically they're going for a Hurricane Run off the top, and it's nailed to perfection by Daniel Bryan, which is reversed in midair, mind you, into a roll-up for a 2 count. So basically the Hurricane Rana and so much momentum carried him over into the Sunset Flip and 1-2 and a kick out by Daniel Bryan. So Big E Langston utilizes the only thing he can do at this point, and that's interfere, and he grabs Daniel Bryan's leg for a distraction, and Ziggler catches him with the picture-perfect pinpoint dropkick. So Kane, in turn, attacks Big E with a big boot on the outside, ineffectively taking him out of this match. Even though he's not in the match, he's around the match, and that's all that matters at this point. So Bryan and Ziggler brawl on the outside, AJ jumps off of the ring apron on Daniel Bryan's back, and back in the ring, AJ gets nailed with the spear, and 1, 2, 3. So, we're building to it once again. Not a great wrestling match, but a good way to utilize all 4 talents and build up the tag team title match at WrestleMania. So, once again, storyline progression is your friend. After this, we get another Shield video. So, WrestleMania is upon us. They list all the cliches you hear at this time of the year. The worst cliche of all? Their opponents saying they can work together and put aside their differences. The strength of the Shield's purpose is stronger than any one of their opponents at WrestleMania. A Giant, a Viper, a Celtic Warrior. If you ask Dean Ambrose, those elements don't mix. They're destined to implode. And of course, believe in the Shield. Once again, I do believe in the Shield. They're awesome. And even Roman Reigns, who is the least effective member of the group from my perspective, is growing on me slowly but surely. So it's fine. It works okay. And I love Dean Ambrose. I think Dean Ambrose is going to be the breakout star of the Shield once it's over. Once it finally ceases, I think Dean Ambrose is going to be the person that breaks out. And that makes total sense because anyone that saw Jon Moxley's indie stuff, they know what he's capable of. And they know what he's capable of in the ring and what he's capable of on the microphone. And he's great at both. Seth Rollins is good, and Roman Reigns, like I said, he's unproven, but he's the muscle of the group, so it makes sense for him not to really talk that much. After this match, we get the Great Khali, who needs to retire. And of course, he is flanked by the criminally underused Natalya Neidhart and the extremely, extremely overexposed Hornswoggle. My God, can someone just fire him, please? Honestly, just fire the guy. I don't care where he goes. Just fire him. He does not need to be on television anymore. He was off for a long time, and it was just Natty and Khali, so they brought him back? No, God, no. Get rid of Hornswoggle. I hate him so much. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't want to see him on television anymore. So, Swagger, so basically, I just blew the spot there. Basically, Khali comes to the ring, and he's going to face off against the Dark Patriot, Jack Swagger, of course, with Zeb Colter in his corner. So they grapple to start off, and Khali shoves Swagger off. And this time, Khali backs Swagger in the corner. He dodges the chop and basically beats up Khali in the corner. Khali whips him into the ropes and hits him with a chop over the head. He backs Swagger into the corner and hits the overhand chop. Another corner, another chop. You know how it works. It works just fine. Whip him in, chop, whip in, chop. Anyway, Swagger fights off with some strikes, charges at Khali, but he runs into the big boot. Khali hits 3 clotheslines. He sets up for the brain chop, but Swagger powders to the outside smartly. Khali follows, but Swagger grabs his leg as he's climbing over the top rope to follow him, and he hyperextends it over the top rope. It looked nice, actually. So Khali cowers in the corner. Swagger shoulder thrusts the leg. Khali goes to the outside. Swagger follows up and goes for the Patriot lock while the countout is being administered, and Khali kicks him off. He locks in the second time, and Khali kicks him off again. Stomps Khali in the groin and locks in the third time. The ref rings the bell because we have reached 10 and we have a double countout. So it was alright. It was a decent way to do things, and you know what? Khali actually had an okay match. Swagger worked him the right way in this match. And I don't understand why there wasn't a tap out, because obviously you want to build Jack Swagger. He is the World Heavyweight Championship contender for WrestleMania. And Khali being a former World Heavyweight Champion would actually made sense for him to tap him out in the center of the ring. But they went with this as well. So I don't know why they're protecting Khali in this match, but they did. So, well. Anyway, we come back from commercial break and yet another Raw recap of The Undertaker and CM Punk. And of course, I reviewed that already, so we're not going to talk about that again. Renee Paquette, or should I call her Renee Young, from The Score in Canada, is with Sheamus, Randy Orton, and The Big Show. They're talking the same steez they always have about being on the same page to take down a common enemy. And of course, they argue amongst themselves, with Randy Orton being once again the voice of reason, pretty much telegraphing his heel turn at WrestleMania. So, basically, that's pretty much the promo for that. And we come back from commercial break, and Damien Sandow comes out. So, Mustachio and the Beard, along with United States Champion Antonio Cesaro. Sandow's out on the mic, and he says, him, his best friend Cody Rhodes, and their esteemed colleague Antonio Cesaro are the quintessential 6-man team. I haven't heard quintessential used in professional wrestling since Joel Gertner in ECW. Not only do they possess superior intelligence, but they share a mutual disdain for ignorance. And Cesaro yodels. Interesting. But hopefully that's just only a one-time thing and he doesn't do it again. So, it doesn't work. I mean, Cesaro doesn't need to have a gimmick. He is the gimmick. It works for him. But anyway, we get our main event, which is the Odd Couple, Randy Orton, The Big Show, and Sheamus against the Rhodes Scholars and Antonio Cesaro. So once again, we come back from commercial break, and Sheamus is in full control of Damien Sandow. So Sheamus tags in Randy Orton. Orton is quick to deliver the 10 count punches in the corner. He hits the uppercut, and Sandow shoves him into the corner before choking Orton with his boot. Cody's in. He delivers a flurry of stomps, and then tags in Cesaro. Nice way to cut off the ring from the heels. Good job. So Cesaro hits his delayed gut wrench and tags in Cody Rhodes again. So once again, we have the former members of Evolution battling it out. Not Evolution. God, it's been a long day. It's not Evolution. It's not Fortune either. It's basically they're battling. I said it right the first time. It is Evolution. They're battling it out, and basically Orton hits Sandow with his 4.0, which is Mike Sanders 4.0, and tags in Sheamus. So there goes to the top rope to try to interfere with the double axe handle. The Big Show just swats him into the outside. Sheamus and Cody are the legal men. Cody finds himself in the ring apron, and they get clubbered. You know, the pounding blows on the chest. They both get it, so both Rhodes Scholars get it. And Cody gets nailed with white noise and the brogue kick, and right when the brogue kick's about to be administered, Sandow interrupts. Big Show helps Orton out by knocking the competition out of the ring, literally, the knockout punch, knocking them out of the ring. Cody gets nailed with a brogue kick, 1, 2, 3. So after the match, they're celebrating, and they're all on the same page, and here comes the Shield. So they make their way through the crowd, and so they're about ready to attack, and then they get the tables turned on them because the babyfaces come after the Shield and they start fighting in the crowd. Literally, they brawl all the way up to the top of the arena, and the Shield retreat out the back door. So that's how we end Smackdown. So, great storyline progression on Smackdown this week, and they're building up every single match for WrestleMania. I'm not sure if next week is going to be a clip show or if it's going to be an actual Smackdown broadcast, but either way, we're still going to talk about it. And like I said, we're 8 days from WrestleMania. Literally, WrestleMania is 1 day removed from being 1 week away. So, it's going to be insane. Looking forward to WrestleMania. At Will's house, obviously, we're going to be doing a WrestleMania retrospective for the pay-per-view. We're going to be talking about the matches for the evening and what we think will happen during those matches. So, that's going to be up on the YouTube channel on the 7th. And hopefully right before WrestleMania, I can get it up if I can get Will to have some Wi-Fi. I don't know if he does or not, or find a way to be able to make it work. So, there's always that. But I'm going to get off here because I need to get ready to go to work. I have to be leaving in about an hour because we're going grocery shopping because Mom's going away for a long time to South Carolina, like I told you before. So, thank you guys for watching. And wrestling fans, I will join you again on Tuesday for Raw. Tomorrow we're going to do AJ's weekend movie reviews where we're talking The Host, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Spring Breakers, and Stoker. So, that's coming up. And of course, Monday morning, we're going to talk Celebrity Apprentice. So, a lot of things still to come. And tonight, Tyler Perry and Long John Silver's. Yay. I like Long John Silver's, don't get me wrong. I just don't want to watch another Tyler Perry movie, especially when it's not 2 hours long. So, I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys for watching. And once again, that's all I got to say about that.